Senator Shehu Sani, before I allow you to go, Senator Okon here has a few issues to raise about some of the issues that you have raised. But before you go, there are talks about witch hunting and the fact that your party came out to say that the confirmation of the senators and what happened on the last lap of the screening is a clear show that there is cohesion and a unity in your party. But again, I try to make a sense of some of the issues that are happening, especially the CCT issue with Senator Dr. Bukola Saraki, the Senate President. And if I look through some of the timeline of this issue, it shows clearly some of the things that Nigerians are talking about. A lot of people that are asking questions here, some of the issues that they're talking about. There was an indefinite suspension or adjournment of the appeal court case. The president and the Senate president had done met after a while. We saw them meeting after the list was, the first batch of list was presented. The appeal court case was adjourned. And a day after, the following day in the morning, after all the senatorial, the ministerial nominees were screened and confirmed, the issue came up at the appeal court. And a lot of people are asking, where is the unity in the party? And a lot of people are saying, maybe it's just a witch hunt. What do you have to say about this?
Well, what I will make clear here is that most times, as in the past and to a certain level in the present, and corruption trial are in most cases media and political events. And you can still not divulge the very fact that there are puppeteers, elements who are quite interested in seeing the Senate President on trial. Questions which Nigerians still need to ask is that if the issues raised on him or about him was on 2003 declaration of forms, why don't we have a full disclosure of what everyone declared from 1999 to date? And then we will see whether that is a true reflection that only one person has violated that very rule. But that notwithstanding, the confirmation process in the Senate and his ability to navigate the Senate to fulfill its promise of reaching a resolution as far as all issues before us are concerned. It's a new window, a new opportunity for the party to come together and address its internal problems and then calm frail nerves and forgive one another so that we can move forward. Right. Nobody is saying that the Senate President should not be on trial for issues like that, but what we are saying clearly is that there should not be anyone behind the scene influencing issues. And as days goes by and as the case goes on, certainly those who are interested in it will emerge clearly for Nigerians to know that there are people, there are hands behind what is going on.
All right. Thank you so much, Senator Sani. I must allow you to go now because of our time so that we can take on some of the other issues that we have on the program. Many thanks for being a part of the program. Just before we go on the break, let me quickly come to you. You have some very, as soon as he was talking, you have a lot of things that you wanted to say.
There are very clear questions. He said, let's look at it. The guilt or the innocence of any person is now dependent and must be essentially a feature and an achievement and a measure of the unity of their party. So if the unity of the party is meant to promote and protect acts of criminality, it is welcome. I think the distinguished senator, I saw his difficulty and I appreciate it. He's been a voice of sanity and caution in the Senate, but here he had a lot of difficulty. When a statement is, when you come out and you are essentially specious about the facts and the circumstance of a given question, did he categorically say in that his outing, did he state that the Senate considered the report of that committee? If he says the Senate considered the report, he merely said, made a mention, a perfunctory mention that the Senate, the report was placed before the Senate. Was it considered?
Interesting.
That was clearly a case of putting the carriage before the horse, right? There were certain conditions that had to be met. First, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria had empowered a given committee, one of its special standing committee, to investigate the allegations and the petitions against a particular candidate or a number of nominees. Some of them had the petitions withdrawn, others were considered, and at the time they were placed, they had been withdrawn. But that of the Rivers State former governor was there, and it was part of the report that was placed before.
Okay.
So when they said, well, they come out with such irresponsible statements that the majority has had, the minority have had its say, and the majority has had its way, then it portends great danger for this country. That is why some of us are very concerned about the direction and the management and the execution of the change and anti-corruption mantra of Mr. President.
Let me quickly allow Dr. Tunji Braithwaite to come in via telephones. He joins us from his residency in Lagos. Good evening, and thank you so much for being a part of the program. Tell me your take on the senator, the ministerial confirmation and how it all panned out. For you, do you think that it's business unusual or business as usual? All right, well, I mean, we're having difficulty again with that. So we'll go on a short break. And we'll take a moment. And when we return, how will the PDP, APC legal and political tussle pan out in Akwa Ibom? Well, Senator Anietie Okon here is with me, and we'll be talking about this and more. Join us again.